come into the meeting again. You come into the meeting, see if I got the audio and the visual. No, no, you somebody come into, I don't know, you gotta come into the meeting. I don't see any participants now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna log in. Sekou is logging back in as well.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm connecting now. Okay, can you hear me? You can hear me through the phone. I'm gonna hang up.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang up.
That's all you needed to do. It's working now. Yeah, it's working. It's working now.
I got you. Gotcha.
All right.
Okay, Sekou there?
Myself, and I'm going to pull them back in, all right?
Okay.
Okay, so Sekou is in the room, but the problem is he's in the room, but he's not a panelist anymore. He's in
Okay.
as a.
Hold on, I can fix that.
Okay, she's fixing it, Sekou.
Okay, view full attendee list. Sekou Gary, promote as panelist. Okay, Willie Gary, promote as panelist. Let's see who we have now here. Okay, was he in the room now? Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello.
Okay. How many people we have? I see Willie Gary. I don't see Willie Gary. I hear Willie Gary. Okay, I think I have Sekou. I have Tanya. I just need a visual on Mr. Gary. I have Sekou. Sekou, can you hear me? I have a visual on everybody.
Hello, can you hear me?
Mr. Gary, I can hear you and I can now see you.
Turn your volume up. Turn your volume up. I can hardly hear you.
Hello, can you hear me better now?
I can hear you. Yeah, I sure can.
I can hear you.
Okay, we got everybody on the line. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna get this party started. You're gonna see how we do at the Cathy Cash show. Let me just get this setting together.
I knew it was special.
Okay, we good to go now? Everybody can hear me?
I can
Yeah, I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Okay, we're gonna get the show started here. Let's go. We count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, yes, folks. Welcome to the Cathy Cast Show. It has been an amazing sorry. I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's been an amazing week, and it has been record heat here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have had record temperatures, and it is Wednesday, July 1st. I am blessed to be here. Also, unfortunately, we have had record numbers of COVID-19. And so, folks, just be very careful out there and wear your mask. I know it's state mandate now. I know it's an inconvenience, but it is life-saving. Before I get into my very special interview, because folks, we're in for a big treat today, and I don't want to give it away. I just want to give a shout out now to our sponsor. I don't have to pay the bills here at the Cathy Cast Show. So we have the Rhythm Fest Entertainment out of California. They are promoting a gospel renaissance, which will be August 22nd, in Hawthorne, California at the International Christian Center. They have an all-star lineup, Yolanda Adams, Kurt Franklin, Angie Stone, and many, many more celebrities. If you want some information about that, you can go to tgrlivestream.com. I will be hosting that event and doing all the celebrity interviews. I am so excited, y'all. So that I want to give them the plug since they paid for this show today. Let me go ahead and give an introduction to my very special guest, because you guys are not going to believe who we have. This is the start of our Black Justice series, and we have an incredible lineup. And today, I want to give these gentlemen their just due. This first gentleman I'd like to introduce has represented some of the most high-profile, famous people in the world, such as Floyd Mayweather Jr., rapper and mogul 50 Cent, and many, many more. He has worked in various areas of law, such as personal injury, medical malpractice, wrongful death. He has litigated cases in various states and has a vast knowledge and experience in both state and federal system. I would like to welcome to the Cathy Cast Show famed attorney Sekou Gary.
Thank you, Cathy. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. It's an honor and privilege. And I want to get to this next gentleman and I can go on like the Encyclopedia Britannica with his accolades, but I'm going to go and do my best to give him a proper introduction. This gentleman made history when he sued R.J. Reynolds and won one of the largest awards in the world, 3.6, let me read this correctly, $23.6 billion. Yes, that's a B, as in billion, ladies and gentlemen. His reputation of taking down big corporations have gained him the nickname of the Giant Killer. It is my honor to introduce businessman, philanthropist, and legendary attorney, the living legend, attorney Willie Gary.
Thank you very much, Cathy Cash. I'm just like you when I grow up.
Oh, please. These gentlemen, you have to understand, folks, when you're an entrepreneur and you build businesses, to have the opportunity to interview and introduce a gentleman of this caliber, it's just amazing. I'm nervous right now. I'm real nervous. because you have to understand, to sports enthusiasts, Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson, those folks are the ultimate. But to an entrepreneur, moguls are our superstars. Moguls and people that are highly successful, that have reached the top of their field, they're our Black Panthers and Superman. So I have the chance now to interview some Supermen. So let me just get right to it. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great. Good to be with you.
Thank you.
Great.
Let me get into some questions. I'm going to start with Attorney Willie Gary. How'd your upbringing and family motivate you to your historic success?
Well, good question. Good question, Cathy. I was born one of 11 children, and my mama and my daddy were sharecroppers. He used to work the sugarcane fields of South Florida and work the apple orchards in North Carolina. We were migrant workers, moving from town to town every 4 or 5 weeks, never having a chance to settle down and do anything. Couldn't go to school but a half a day. But you know, at the end of the day, I thank God for my parents and all that they were able to do, which wasn't a lot, but they did all they could do. But I had dreams. I had big dreams. I say that to kids every day now. Don't ever give up on your dreams. You know, just set it in your mind that you want to be somebody. You want to make something out of yourself. And I did that. And through the cornfields and the crop orchards and the orange groves and everything else, God blessed me to get out of high school, into college and law school, and the rest is history.
Well, you know, you said something about the children and the kids out here, and I have a question because do you really believe that this generation values opportunity for education as much as prior generations? Because my grandmother and my dad, who was 25 years older than my mother, used to tell me about them having to walk to school. They're from Charleston, South Carolina, and Johns Island, South Carolina, and they had to walk miles and miles to school just to get an education. Do you think this generation values an education?
I think they value an education. It's just a different day at a different time. You got to reach. When I was growing up, everybody used to help raise everybody's child. We need to get back to that. You know, you got caught wrong down the streets, Sister Jones would put you in your place. You went home and you got it again. We got to reach out to our young people, our youth, because if America is to be all that it can be, and I'm sure it will, if it's to be the best that it can be, then it's going to take the input from our young people who are out there. They're making a difference. They're making things happen. They have opportunities that we didn't have. So we got to hold their feet to the fire. They need to know that March on Bloody Sunday by Dr. King and others across the Edmund Pettus Bridge wasn't for nothing. A lot of people were beaten and some later died because the billy clubs and the dogs and the guns and all that they had to go through. So young people, you're indebted. You owe it to us. You owe it to America to be somebody. You don't have the right to not be somebody. And you can and you will, and we're trusting in you because, you know, our future rests upon your shoulders. And you got to make us proud, and I know you're going to do that. I feel that they can do it. You know, they need a little bit more pressure sometimes, you know, talking to them, telling them what it takes to make it out of life. But they're going to be somebody. I feel good about our young people today, and we just gotta, you know, just let them know that we are there for them. And
The
then
support.
they'll be
The
all right.
support. Yeah, I feel good about what I see right now with the protests, the peaceful protests. I feel good about their awareness and their activism. It kind of surprised me. You know, I just was kind of surprised. I was kind of actually very proud to see them mobilize and to do it so quickly.
Yeah, that's amazing how, you know, I feel like we're on our way. We're gonna make a difference, and I think it all started just a few weeks ago. People are fired up, both black and white, Hispanics as well. Everybody, we're all in this together, and I see signs of togetherness. You know, making things happen, working together, and of course, you know, I don't know what I said it or not, but my son and partner Sekou is a part of that group that's out there, you know, blazing new trails, pioneering new paths. They're making it happen, and because he's my partner now, and between him and his mom, You know, I get my orders every day, and
Congratulations, Sekou, on your partnership. Congratulations. Let me look at these questions
you.
because yeah, I see you. That's tremendous, a tremendous feat. Matter of fact, I have a question for that in regards to your, I'm going to switch over to you for a minute. How is it like to work with your dad and in regards to in the law firm? How is it like to be a partner?
It's pretty cool, actually. Growing up watching him do his thing, you know, I always kind of wanted to emulate him and be like him. And now that I've become a lawyer, getting the chance to work with him, and I worked with him, you know, a lot since I started. But to work with him on a level that I work with now, you know, being partners and you know, trying cases together, you know, to work with him from a, I guess, an all grown up standpoint, it's, you know, it's pretty amazing. It's something I dreamed about when I was a child. So, you know, to be in the office with him and us to be, you know, working cases together and getting through stuff and actually being in trial, be, you know, walking on the courtroom floor, you know, with my dad is you know, it's a pretty amazing feeling. So you know, I'm happy to be in this position, and it's a very privileged position because, you know, I get to watch and learn from him every day, and I have been, you know, since I started practicing law, and probably even before I started practicing law, I've been learning from him. But to have a resource, arguably the greatest trial lawyer of all time, to have that resource that close to you every day and to be able to soak up that knowledge and, you know, steal his moves and things like that, it's pretty invaluable.
Well, it's wonderful to learn for the best. How would you describe your father and son relationship?
Well, he could, you know, kind of let it go a little bit more. I think that would be better. You know what I mean? Because to him, like me and all my brothers are always going to be those little babies he brought home from the hospital. And we don't feel like we're those little babies anymore. But somewhere he didn't get the memo. So, you know, in that respect, it can be challenging. But it's all out of love. So, you know, even if it's annoying sometimes, like, you know, say something to you that you feel like is, you know, talking to you like a little kid, you know, instead of an adult or whatever. It's all coming from, you know, a great place because, you know, he still loves you, you know, and I had to, you know, have children of my own. And, you know, now that I got my oldest daughter's 25 years old. So now that I've had children and I see that's how you look at them. You know what I mean? I look at all my kids, you know, and I have young children too. So they are children, but even my oldest kid, you know, she thinks she's an adult and I just see a baby there. So now I understand it a little bit more. So now I have a little bit more patience.
Yeah, different perspective when you have your own kids, right?
Totally. Totally. You know, I gave them a pretty hard time, you know, so, you know, when you start parenting, you don't really know how that feels until you get a taste of it, you know.
I know you know how it feels because I can tell you, their mother, she used to go to they'd be in school. If they got caught acting up, she would drive all the way to the school, go get them out the room, grab them in the chest, and punch them out. She didn't play
Oh,
on
yeah, she beat you down on an allegation, you know, and you'd be thinking, Mom, like, listen, let me just tell you my side of the story, you know. And she was like, hey, this is for making me come up here in front of all these people, you know what I mean? So I had a pretty good discipline system, but I was an adventurous child, so, you know, I pushed the envelope a little bit.
Yeah, so
you pushing a whole lot, Doc.
So you're number two. You're second of four boys, Sekou. You're the second child.
Second oldest of my mother and father's 4 children.
Okay. So what is it like to be part of such an iconic family?
It's fun. You know, it's 2 aspects to it. You know, growing up in it, it was a pretty neat thing, a lot of fun, and it was very exciting. The things that my dad was doing and my mom was working hard too, definitely were inspiring. But the things that he exposed us to were pretty invaluable. I just remember coming home from school one day and seeing, him sitting around talking to Don King and Jesse Jackson, and they're just shooting the breeze. And I remember like walking halfway up the staircase and hiding and just like eavesdropping on their conversations, stuff like that. So, I did because Don King was my idol, when I was a child, and I still look up to him a lot now. So, I was just amazed to see him, I didn't even know he was going to be there. So just being around stuff like that, I would just kind of soak it in, things like that. I remember, flying to LA with Michael Jackson. And, on our plane, I think we saw him on the tarmac in Detroit. He hopped off his plane and got on our plane and rode with us and had his plane trail us just because he wanted to ride on my dad's plane and just kicking it with him on the way there, just stuff like that. So it was pretty amazing. And at the same time too, it's a responsibility though, because when you look at, you take a step back and look at all the good that he's doing and what he's built, and my parents and the law firm and everything. My mom was very hard.
And that leads me to my next question. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're right on point with it. That leads me to my next question. How was it just being around and having a family that was so driven? Because I know you were going to go into, he started this basically from nothing.
Oh yeah. It was inspiring because my dad was working hard at the law practice, and then my mom, she was working hard too. They had businesses. My dad owned apartment buildings, and he had laundromats. And I remember going with my mom to get quarters from the laundromats. And I remember when my dad bought a convenience store complex, and it made me want to work. My first job, I was 13 years old, a clerk at a convenience store. And then I think I was 14. My dad bought me my first business. I had a game room behind the convenience store. And well, I say he bought me my first business, but I don't remember us doing any profit sharing. I just remember getting like a little check. But
it was investing going on for your future. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah. But you probably broke some child labor laws.
Well, it's kind of like when you're a kid and your grandma gives you birthday money and your parents hold it for you. So I think he's still holding that money for me. So, but
well, you can always sue. You can always sue now.
Yeah. But the point of it was the inspiration. Is just wanting to do something. I wanted to be in the mix. I wanted to be doing something. They were always doing something. Like I said, if my dad was working hard all the time, my mom was managing properties. We were emptying quarters out of laundromats and stuff like that. So it inspired me. They were always doing things and trying to build to the next thing. And the dad was never the kind of guy to sit back and just kind of rest and say I made it. He was always trying to do the next thing. So I think being around that spirit, it really benefited me, because I'm just always thinking about the next thing, thinking ahead, thinking 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, and just never being satisfied, being happy, but never being satisfied with what you accomplished, just trying to, build and accomplish more.
Well, it's something about putting those quarters in the quarter machine and then rolling them up and putting the account number and putting it in the bag and taking it to the bank that'll give you a really amazing work ethic. See, I know about that because my father had 2 laundromats, so I'm smiling from ear to ear.
We had 2 laundromats, and now I think I'm about to find out where all our quarters were going.
Well, I can tell you where it went.
They went somewhere.
And Cathy, listen, at any given time, we on average, we probably had $3,000 in quarters in our garage, right? Because my parents, they would get behind on rolling them. You had to roll them first and then take them to the bank.
Put the count number on them.
And that was like, to me and my brothers, that was the best thing ever. If you wanted a pizza, we didn't even count them. We just grabbed 2 handfuls and we grabbed like 2 pounds of quarters, gave them to the pizza guy. He just left. Nobody counted them anything. So we always had a little, what do you call it? Petty change, hanging around. So yeah, we probably owe you $15,000, $20,000, Pops, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's more than that, Doc, now that I think about it. But anyway, I'm proud of you. Proud of you, son. I'm proud of all my boys. They really have, helped me and his mom both throughout the years, make them nice young men. And, what I like about Sekou, he's a heck of a lawyer, tremendous lawyer, has a lot of talent. But, when we used to go out to the schools to visit, talk to their teachers, they would tell us about how they wouldn't hesitate to open the door for some young lady, or if they were driving to school, stopping and making sure that all the teachers and everybody, uh, they just always had a real good attitude about being manable, having appreciation for all the good things we try to do. And of course, speaking of their mom, I got to tell you this: we met in the 2nd grade. So that's right, we met, and I started chasing her in the 2nd grade.
Father.
And Cathy, she used to hate the sound of my name. She couldn't stand the name Willie Gary. Every time she'd hear Willie Gary, she would just cry. But I knew she was
Why?
digging on me. I knew she was digging on me. So I thank God every day for her and being there for the boys through the thick and thin, being there for me at the office. As a matter of fact, when we first started our law practice, we used to run the business together. And he used to be working at the college during the day and helping me at the office to get work done at night. So we always have been a unit, and working together. I'd run the business during the day, picking up the phone, being secretary, being everybody. And she'd do it, she'd run it at night.
Wearing all the hats. I mean, how difficult was it to start your own business fresh out of law school, your own business? How difficult was that?
It was tough. Like I said, when she helped me at night, but during the day I had to wing it. The phone would ring and I'd answer the phone. Hello, how are you? Just a minute. And no sooner than I could turn or say anything, I'd say, hello, this is Willie Gary. How you doing? So I had to be secretary and the lawyer until she came at night, and we both work all night getting work done.
So you was extension 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Girl Friday.
You tell me about it. But I want to thank you too for what you're doing. You're making a difference. You're reaching a lot of people. You're inspiring a lot of people, and you're making a difference. I can tell you that. I've done my homework. I can tell you, you are making a difference.
Well, thank you. You know what? I appreciate that coming from a person of your caliber. I mean, it's just amazing to me what you've done in that courtroom. And that leads me to my next question. How do you been representing people and getting some of the largest settlements in history? What is it like to get justice for the underdog? In many of these cases, these folks are disenfranchised. I mean, it's like David and Goliath situations.
Well, it's just what the doctor ordered for me because, I like helping people. I like fighting for people, representing people, getting in the trenches, refusing to be denied. And I just, I'm just crazy enough to feel that I can win every case that or win every time we walk in the courtroom. And it's just satisfying that God would, bless you to take on some of the giants of the world, Disney World, and Anheuser-Busch, and the Lowen Group, and I could go on and on. We sued Mickey Mouse in Orlando in his own backyard.
Well, and Mickey Mouse got to pay then. He got to pay. He all right. he can stand to give up a couple of dollars.
But we thought he could stand to give up a few dollars anyway. But we fight. We fight for our clients. That's what we do, and we're not afraid to fight. I mean, it's in our blood. It's not just Willie Gary, but we got my partner Lorenzo Williams, Bob Parenty, and we got great people. Phyllis Gillespie, who heads our medical mail department. We put together a real good team. Larry and Tom and a lot of others.
So the official name of the law firm is Gary, Williams, Parenti, Watson, and Gary?
And Gary, that's right.
Okay.
That's the group that we've been together a lot of years. Lorenzo and I have been together for 40 years now, and we've been together on a handshake because we respect each other that much, and he's one of the finest lawyers you're ever going to meet anywhere, and I'm proud to say we've been together all these years, and I've just watched him every round gets better and better and better. And we Sean Abney the same way. And we could go on and on. But again, back to you. You keep doing what you're doing. You're reaching a lot of people with a lot of good knowledge and making it happen.
Well, I mean, I have excellent guests that come through, intellects, people from all walks of life, but I gotta say, you guys have set the bar so high. I don't know how I'm gonna just go and interview just anybody after this. You guys have set the bar so high. I have some legal questions because I know we have some time constraints. I just know, we're in this COVID atmosphere right now. Will the post-COVID-19 environment become a more litigious? Everybody gonna be suing everybody? I mean, some of these states are now passing when you can't sue. When you go back to work, you only could get medical. I mean, is everybody gonna be just suing everybody during this process?
I think you are going to see some COVID-19 litigation. And I've actually already seen a little bit now. Just exposure cases, people that were exposed to it in different places, probably bringing premise liability cases. And also too, there's business interruption cases from COVID-19 that I've seen a little bit out there. So just kind of, I monitor what's going on in the legal world. I haven't, handled any of it and dug that deep into it, but I have seen some COVID-19 litigation brewing just based on COVID-19. As far as just general litigation, I don't think it's gonna, it's just still gonna be the same. I don't think it's gonna stop or slow down or anything like that. But you are gonna see some new class actions related to COVID-19. I do think you'll see that.
Well, speaking of class action, in your professional opinion, do you think China has any legal liability in regards to crisis?
It's kind of hard to tell, because one, there's a lot of finger pointing on where the origin of this thing is, and it seems to be that from some publications that China did have some information that they did not disclose. So I don't know. I don't know how Americans would get recourse, against a country like China, just it being international and stuff. But maybe the country, U.S. or different countries might try to take some actions out. But it's a slippery slope because you got to, maybe the origin came from there, but then the way the U.S. has, maybe not social distance the best out of all the countries, it's contributed to the spread too. So, if you're gonna start pointing fingers at countries, you gotta be a little bit careful because everybody else, they quarantined and their numbers flattened out. And some countries didn't even quarantine and their numbers flattened out. And we were under all kind of restrictions and we're still rising. And I think, I'm in Florida, which is a state that is kind of open and they're kind of pulling back a little bit now. But I think that we might have opened up a little bit too early. And I understand that, people, they want to get out because, people can still stay at home even though they lift restrictions up. You can still stay at home and be safe, but people are actually going out and doing things. And to those people, I just like to say, we want the world to open back up. So, we got to sacrifice another 2 months of following the rules for the greater good. So, everything can get back to normal quicker. do it that way. Because if you go out here and just start going crazy, we're going to go backwards, and we're going to, it's going to be that much longer before everything is normal again. So, I hope people, Floridians and everybody really just kind of starts, just paying attention to, the rules, wearing masks and slowing down, the spread, because, life does go on. I do understand that it's kind of hard not to function, but we got to do it responsibly and in a way until we can find a vaccine that, flattens out this curve. And it can be done because all the other countries around the world, they've done it. If you look at Italy was supposed to be the worst, worst case, of concentration. And, maybe like 4 months ago, and their numbers are down tremendously. They don't have the problems we have. They don't have the alerts and the red flags and the restrictions, because people apparently, follow the rules. So it works. People, just got to follow it.
You just gotta follow it, And I've been watching Florida because that's one of my favorite places. I go down to Miami, and I wanted to go down to Miami so bad, but hey, that's okay. I have to make Miami happen in my backyard. That's okay. That's okay. I have another question, and I know you're part of the Black Lives Movement, or you have an association with them. But Mr. Gary, this question is so big because it just seems to me during the time in history where we're not supposed to be out, people were so impulsed to have to go out and protest for just a wrong that they saw on national TV, on a video through their phone, on social media, and they were just supposed to have to go out and have to protest, not only in this country, in the 50 states in this country, and 18 other countries. So my next question is, and this is a big one for both of you guys, is reparations for Afro-Americans and people of color worldwide a real possibility? I've been hearing about reparations since I was a kid. Is this something that actually can happen for people of color?
Yeah, it can happen. It should happen. It needs to happen because it's deserving. It's not like African American people are looking for something for nothing. That's not the case. We've helped build America. We've helped to make it all that it can be. But the playing field has not been a level playing field. There's no question about it. And I'm the first to not complain. I just work. I just refuse to be second best. I try to make a point with young people. Forget about the fact that you didn't have this, you didn't have that. Be somebody anyway. But reparations, in my opinion, is in order. We worked so hard for so long and still working so hard to make America all that it can be. And, it's good to see Black and white people, Hispanics and the like coming together in hand in hand, arm in arm, trying to make America better, trying to make something happen, and trying to help our people, Black people, and for sure, Black and Hispanics, get their fair shake of, of the privilege of being an American.
Well, I like you're saying better, make America better. I like you're saying better.
I hear you.
You heard it first here from famed attorney Willie Gary. Make America better.
Let me do a shout out to one of my favorite clients out of Chicago, Ananias Granger. How you doing, Doc? I just want you to know that I feel good about the fact that Cathy Cash, and I like Cathy, and I like Cash. I think I like Cash better, but anyway, shout out to you.
We have zoomed through these questions, and this has been a top-notch interview. I know doing my research, I see you worked with attorney Johnny Cochran when he was alive. What was it like working with him?
It was a pleasure working with Johnny Cochran. We tried the case against Mickey Mouse together. Johnny and I both tried that case together. But he was one of the nicest people. I mean, he's one of the greatest lawyers who walked on this earth. As a man had talent that superseded anybody, any lawyer, anywhere. But over and above the talent, I mean, he was just a good, decent person. I mean, flat out, he would give you the shirt off of his back. It would help make a difference. And I'm just glad and thank God every day for the opportunity to work with Johnny. And matter of fact, say you want to Johnny came up and spoke at your law school. You know.
Yeah. When I was in law school at Quinnipiac College in Hamden, Connecticut, we had our. I was the president of the Black Law Students Association, and we have our Thurgood Marshall banquet. And we usually get a keynote speaker for that, usually somebody in the community doing work. And him and my dad were friends. And I think we were in his office one day and he called and put me on the phone. My dad said, you got to ask him. And I got on the phone with him. I asked him, if he would come. And he said, well, let me check the date, let me check the date and stuff. And I had met him through my dad before, of course, and stuff. And he was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. And I, initiated Kappa Alpha Psi a little bit before that at North Carolina Central University, the Alpha Kappa chapter. So yeah, he agreed to come out for me and stuff. And like my dad said, super nice guy, super smooth. And came and spoke at the school, and we talked, and I remember we had dinner that night and everything. And then I saw him actually a couple times in practice and stuff. We worked on the Rosa Parks case together and stuff. So it was just an honor to know him and to, be able to meet him and spend time with him and actually, work with him, have him come speak with the school and to be able to say I know him, it's an honor.
Wow. So you went to historical Black college, undergrad.
North Carolina Central University. Yes, I did.
Yeah, you guys were in the MEAC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we started off in the CIAA. We're original CIAA school, but then we moved to the MEAC later.
The worst thing you've ever done when you left the CIAA.
The CIAA has just got such a good home, historical, feeling, and just a lot of history there. And I think the tournament's going to be in Baltimore this year, so I'm probably going to go check that out. But yeah, there was nothing like the CIAA. MEAC was more money. The school went Division I. They had to go get the money, so I'm not mad at them and everything. But the CIAA is nothing like it.
I think we used
let me just say this about historically Black colleges. And I want the whole world to know this. You spend 4 years, you send one of your children one of our historically Black colleges, and they stay there 4 years. It's like my boys, sometimes 5 and 6 years if they get out.
Right.
Stay there, you hang in there, you get it done. You've gotten one of the best educations you'll get anywhere in this nation. So let's do a hands up for the historically Black colleges everywhere.
Yes.
They need us. They need us now more than ever before.
Yes.
So let's support our Black colleges.
Yeah, everybody get back to your school. Give something back to your school. We don't do that enough, and everybody's talking about the funding from the government and things of that nature. But as alumni, we need to get back to our historically Black colleges.
Yeah, we have to. I'm alumni of Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware. It was a college when I went there. It wasn't even a university. I don't want to tell my age, but it was a college. It's now a university. But yes, we have to do that. There's nothing like a historical Black college experience living on campus. Probably the best years of my life. Let me move on. We have some final questions. This has been a real treat. We have the Garys. It's been a big, this set of questions, either one of you guys can jump in. It's just amazing what you guys have done, you gentlemen have done. And if you were speaking to a room of African-American or African descent boys, and young men, what would you share with them about becoming successful? Specifically Afro-American boys and young men.
Well, go ahead, Sekou.
Okay. Yeah, if I was speaking to African American young boys, I would tell them, specifically speaking to them, I would say, I would say all the stuff that, everybody says, of course, you got to work hard and stay focused and do the right thing. But I think the one thing I try to stress them the most is never let anyone tell them that they can't do something. In this world, just as people, period, there's going to be obstacles, but as an African-American boy, even an African-American girl, as an African-American, period, it's a different experience. And you can't let anyone, decide your limitations. If you got goals and you want to pursue them, don't let anyone talk you out of them, because, people that look like you don't do that. Don't listen to any of that kind of talk. You have to develop your own dreams and your own desires, and you have to pursue them like your life depends on it. And you just have to have tunnel vision, on your goals, because there's going to be people along the way that are maybe even in, authority positions that will even, try to lead you astray and talk you out of going as far as you want to go. And you can't listen to that. If anybody's talking against you being everything you can be, telling you that, don't shoot for that, stop right here, that's good enough for you. You need to stop listening to them. Listen to your heart, listen to your soul. You can be whatever you want to be, but you have to be determined to be that thing, because people are going to tell you you can't do it, and it's not going to be easy. And so when people are telling you that things can't be done, and then things get hard, it's kind of easy for you. It's a little bit easier for you to buy into the fact, or not to the fact, to the idea that maybe these things can't be done, and you can't let your mind drift in that direction for 1 second. You got to stay focused on your goal and refuse to be denied.
Absolutely, no stinking thinking. No stinking thinking.
And let me say this.
Attorney Gary, please chime in on that.
Let me say this, Cathy. I want to say to all of those young men and women out there, dream big. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't be whatever or whomever you want to be. And but when you make it, and I know you will, and you do all the great things that you want to do, and I know you will do, don't forget about those who are less fortunate than you are. Reach down and pick somebody up, help somebody as you travel on your way up, because you better do that, because sometimes we forget about those that help us to get to where we are. And you may need those same people as you're falling down. So, don't let your head get too large for your hat size.
You hear that? You hear that, guys? Don't let your head get too large for your hat size.
And I say that because some of us do. Some of us do. No sooner than we make it, we have the nerve to think that we got there on our own, and doubtless to say our old silver-headed grandmothers had more sense on accident than most of us have on purpose. Don't forget the bridge that brought you over. Don't look down on anybody unless you're picking them up.
Absolutely. Guys, this has been phenomenal. I only have one more question. I believe that we've zoomed through them. And my sister, I have to mention her. Her name is Pastor Jacqueline Campbell. She has a church in New Jersey, but she is getting national, worldwide attention for her nonprofit called At the Well, and she gives a boys conference and a girls conference at Princeton University. And I have to give her a shout out because she would love to have you guys be a couple of her speakers at her next boys conference, because you guys are just, you are the gentlemen that people's sons aspire to be. You are the role models that people need to know you guys are out there, so their sons, if they are in a single parent household, can say, okay, your father may not be involved with your life right now, but guess what? Study these gentlemen. See what they have done. Try to achieve some of the things that they have achieved. And you guys are phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal mentors to Afro-American young people, African descent young people all over the world. I congratulate you for that, because what you've done is historic. It is historic. You guys have the Willie Gary Foundation. What are some of the initiatives that you have on the horizon for the Willie Gary Foundation?
Good point. We normally at this point in time, as we speak, we would be getting ready for our Christmas carnival, where we entertain hundreds of kids. We give out toys to those who may not, for whatever reason, have a chance to get toys for Christmas. We have that's a huge. We have sometimes as many as 1,000 kids, and all the celebrities come in from out of town, and they help us entertain the kids and give them hope. They can be whatever they want to be. So and of course we give scholarships to ninth graders. That's right. We don't wait till the last year in school. We give them to them as they get in high school, in ninth grade. We raise funds doing some of our big functions, scholarships for those kids. And I never forget 9/11. We had a mother go down, and she left 3 or 4 kids behind. One of the greatest things that I've been able to do. We do a lot of things for a lot of people, but never before or since have I felt the way I felt when we gave scholarships to those 4 kids that she left behind. We knew that they were going to need some help. So, and we do a golf tournament. We're doing nothing this year because virus. Eating is wrecking a lot of people, things that they normally would be doing for the 4th of July. You just got to understand that the virus is bigger than us having a birthday party or picnic for the 4th of July, whatever the case may be. So stay safe. Make sure you follow the rules and wash your hands and do all those things that we're supposed to do, because it's serious business. Serious business. But I want to thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, also too, in 2021, I'm going to be playing in the HBCU fundraiser weekend down in Miami, Cathy. So I'll definitely keep you tuned to that. Like my dad said, COVID-19 is kind of eating up 2020. So that's something to stay on the lookout for 2021. We're going to get North Carolina Central people down. We already got FAMU people down here in Florida, FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, and get people from all the HBCUs in the area, and so we can raise the most money for the school.
Yeah, that's a wonderful. Yeah, 2021 is going to be here soon enough.
Yeah, it's coming.
I will be Miami. I will get to Miami.
Well, come on down for that. I'll send you an invitation.
Okay, you guys heard it. It's right now. I've been invited. I'm gonna know, y'all. Thank you. That was actually my question. This is an interview. I want to thank you for my viewers and my listeners. If you don't know who Attorney Willie Gary is, his son, Sekou Gary, a very Dr. Gary Law from you guys just Google. No, I say Google me. No, you need to Google that. And you will read a lot. Okay? And it's wonderful to know that people down the earth, that Black people of African descent, they're doing storing things and leaving a less of that. And that's how I'm going to end this. You guys have made a legacy, will leave a legacy of excellence. Thank you. want to thank you for that. Folks,
Thank you.
stay tuned to the Cathy show. We are wrapping up our Black Justice series with famed attorney Willie Gary and son, attorney Sekou Gary's wonderful interview. Cathy experience, and join us next week. You guys, God bless.
God bless.
God bless.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.